Hey everyone, I'm Brian.
I'm Tyler.
And we're Gardener in Love.
Hey guys, today we're going to be sharing with you everything you need to know about one of our favorite plants, Coleus. So we have been growing Coleus for a few years now, and they are just really awesome plants. And last year, I don't think that we used them in our garden quite enough. And at the end of the season, they are just massive. And so one thing that we wanted to do this year was find more pockets for them in the garden and add them to our space and get different varieties. So we're gonna share with you some tips and tricks and a few of our favorite varieties as well.
All right, so today we're going to tell you about two different varieties of Coleus, two of our favorites actually. These are in the Color Blaze series by Proven Winners, and that just means that they can be grown in the sun or the shade, which is a huge deal for us because we have a lot of sun in our yard and very little shade, but we are going to plant some in the shade today. So we're excited that we have the versatility to do either one. So this first one is Wicked Witch, and we grew this last year in the full sun, and it got really, really big for us. It's a really vigorous grower as it is.
And we already put some of these in the ground in one spot in our garden.
Yeah, you guys saw that in a few videos back. So this one is actually going to go in the shade this year, and we've heard that they don't grow quite as vigorously in the shade, but that they still branch and get really full. So we're really excited about this one. We've been really focused on heat-loving plants lately because it is midsummer here and it is very hot. I think the high today is like 98 degrees. And so we want to make sure that we have plants that are going to survive that, and these absolutely will. And so Wicked Witch has this beautiful coloring. It's sort of red in the middle and then has a green edge, and it's got this sort of jagged texture. And we really love that in the garden because adding texture is super important, especially around all the other plants that we have. They sort of combine to contrast each other, and we really need that in this space. So this is the first one, and we're actually going to be planting this in the shade. The second one that we are planting is something Tyler's super excited about. This is Golden Dreams.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
So last year I was really hooked on finding fishnet stockings, and we randomly came upon it at a garden center. But that Coleus is only good for the shade. And I'm excited about this one because this looks sort of similar to that Coleus in that it kind of has a webbed look to the color. But as Brian said, because it's from the Color Blaze series, we can plant this in sun or shade.
Yeah. There are so many different Coleus varieties that you can find. There are so many just from Proven Winners. There are different sizes. We have some that are like super tiny, little tiny leaves, and so they're so interesting to look at. There are some that have big giant leaves that branch and get huge like these. And so Coleus are just a really, really great addition to your garden, especially if you live in the South in the heat. And so we are excited to get these in the ground and watch them flourish.
So when you're planting Coleus, there's a few things that you want to keep in mind. Coleus really like consistent water, so you may find that if you forget to water them one day, they will just have completely drooped over and just be limp. And one of the first times I grew Coleus, I was like, oh my God, it's dead. But trust us, you go out there and water it, it will perk back up in probably an hour. They are just mostly water, so they need a lot of water to stand upright and continue to push out new leaves.
Yep.
So you want to put them in a space where you can water them, or maybe they're on a drip system where they're going to get consistent water, and that will just keep them going for you all summer. The next tip is you may notice that Coleus will start to push up little bloom stalks, and we've talked about this before. We don't grow Coleus for the blooms. Now, some people may like that. We like Coleus for the foliage interest. So if you want to keep the foliage going, if you see that bloom stalk going, just come by and, I'm going to do this for purpose of the video, just come by and pop off the top. It's not going to hurt it. It's going to be totally fine. It's just going to encourage more branching, and you'll get a nice full plant from that. So that kind of leads me into my next tip. If you notice that your Coleus is just shooting up a single stalk, or it's getting too tall and you want to kind of keep it down, you can pop off whatever branch you want to, and it's just going to encourage more foliage and wider growth. The last thing that I will say about Coleus is the majority of them will get big. And when we say big, we mean big. On the tag, this says 3.5 feet tall and 2 feet wide. And trust us, it will get that big, maybe bigger than that if you're in the south like us where we have a really long growing season. So if you put it somewhere, make sure it's got the room and the space to get to that full size. Don't be like us. Last year we planted them really close together and they ended up covering up some other plants, and we lost some of our shorter plants last year. But this year we're going to keep an eye on them. We're going to keep them sized. If there's a branch coming out that's going to cover something, like I said, we can pop it off and they will be good to go. So other than that, Coleus are a really easy plant to grow, and they're an awesome annual that we think you guys will really enjoy in your garden if you've never grown them before.
All right, so these are going in 2 different spaces in our garden today. One is in our trellis bed. You guys may have seen that space in our last video about planting pink annuals. And so there is a layer in the back just against the trellises that still needs something, and these are going to be the perfect thing to fill that space, add some interest and some color, and I think it's going to be really unique against the trellises and the white wall. So we're excited to plant those. And then the second space is under our oak tree in the front yard. You guys may have seen us plant some hydrangeas out there and some caladiums, and so we're going to pop these in there and really let them fill out that space. So let's get to planting. All right, guys, so we've got our Coleus in the ground. They're looking so beautiful, and I figured we'd show you where they landed. All right, so we've got our Wicked Witch Coleus in the ground around our oak tree, and this color is just going to pop really well. We did get this other variety of Coleus in the ground that is sort of the opposite of Wicked Witch. We found these at a local big box store, and we just figured that they would play good contrast behind the Wicked Witch, which, of course, is gorgeous. Look at that color. You can see the sun's right on that one. But this one is so rich in the shade, and that's why we love this variety. They just have great contrast, especially against our black mulch we always use. And so I think that these will fill in this space really nicely. The other thing that I was going to show you was that we have this beautiful hedge of incredible hydrangeas here, and we did recently lose one to voles. So you can see this empty space right here, and that's where we had one more incredible, and we actually have the plant here. It is dead as a doornail, and I wanted to show you the bottom where you can see that the vole was just munching on the roots of this plant, and you can see his teeth marks there. So we've been battling those pretty hardcore this year, and hopefully we'll figure it out. But in the meantime, I think we'll probably get something else to fill in this drift around the tree where we've sort of battled the voles, and come back and fill that in, and we'll show you guys when we're done. A lot of you have asked to see the full oak tree in all its glory, and you can see it's a 3-trunk tree, which actually doesn't happen in nature. It's a defect, but it is so beautiful. It makes it so lush and full. And we've had arborists come out here and look at it, and they say it's completely healthy. We probably do need to do some dead wood trimming in it, but it is just a gorgeous tree, and we love it so much. It's one of the reasons we bought this house. And you can see the space underneath it is just prime for planting. And we've planted a few things there already on a few different videos, but I think we've still got some work to do to fill it in, and hopefully we'll get that done soon.
Okay, so now we're gonna head to the backyard to show you where the Golden Dreams Coleus ended up. All right, so it is really bright back here now, but we've got the Golden Dreams tucked in here, and our goal here is to obviously get some height here in the back of the bed, but we've also got 3 clematis here. And if you've grown clematis, you know that they like their head in the sun and feet in the shade. And we don't really have anything planted at the base of them. So we're hoping that the Coleus will come up and give them some shade. Although it is later in the season, we still want to keep them healthy, and maybe we'll get some more blooms out of them. But I'm really excited to see the Golden Dreams grow in. I really love the variegation on the leaves. I think it's really beautiful and unique, and it will be big. It's going to be a big boy, so it will probably get up to the first set of where the trellis meets here on the wall. So we'll keep you guys posted as these grow along. So I think we're going to wrap this project up. We're going to get all of the Coleus watered in really well, and they are all set up on drip, so hopefully we won't have to come out and add supplemental water too much. But we are going to head inside and grab some lunch. It is hot here in North Carolina. If you are outside gardening at this time of the year, make sure you're drinking plenty of water, and please wear your SPF. Maybe even pop on a hat to keep your face in the shade. But thank you guys so much for watching. We hope this video inspired you, and hopefully you'll add some Coleus to your gardens. If you're enjoying our content, please subscribe to our channel and make sure you like this video. That really helps us out. As for now, we're going to sign off, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye!